There are three distinct stages in a woman's life when her need for a relationship with a man tends to intensify. The raw truth, explained in detail. There are very specific periods in a woman's life when her desire to be in a relationship grows stronger. This doesn't happen randomly. It's not just emotional, it's psychological and even biological. And if you're a man who doesn't recognize these phases, you'll keep misunderstanding women again and again. Most men assume that women want relationships in the same way throughout their entire lives. That assumption is completely wrong. Scientific research shows something very different. Developmental psychologists at the University of Chicago studied women's relationship motivations across different age groups, and what they found is rarely talked about openly. A woman's desire for a partner is not constant. It rises noticeably during three predictable phases. And what she looks for in each of those phases is not the same at all. What they discovered surprised even the researchers themselves. Let's start with the first phase, between the ages of 18 and 22. This is the exploration stage. During this time, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for long-term planning and decision-making, is still developing. Because of that, her focus is strongly centered on the present moment. She craves experiences, excitement, romance, and emotional intensity. She's not thinking about where she'll be in 5 years. She's thinking about what excites her right now. At this stage, she's not searching for a lifelong partner. She's collecting experiences, and the kind of man she's attracted to reflects that mindset. Someone who brings energy, spontaneity, and a sense of aliveness into her life. But this is where things begin to shift. The second phase typically occurs between the ages of 25 and 30. This is where everything starts to change. Her environment begins to look different. Friends are getting married. People around her are starting families. At the same time, what many refer to as the biological clock, something neuroscientists confirm has real influence, not just a social myth, begins to create a subtle but persistent sense of urgency. Researchers at Columbia University, studying female bonding patterns, found that during this phase, women don't just look for connection anymore. Often unconsciously, they begin evaluating men differently. Now the focus shifts to long-term potential, stability, character, reliability, and future security. The same woman who was drawn to excitement at 21 may now be analyzing consistency and dependability at 28. So if you've ever noticed a woman suddenly raising her standards or changing what she expects, it's not random. There's a deeper reason behind it. Now we move to the third phase, between the ages of 38 and 45. This is perhaps the most misunderstood stage of all. By this point, she has lived enough to gain clarity. She has built something of her own. She may have experienced both love and heartbreak. And now she reaches what many women describe as one of the most defining periods of their lives. Her priorities shift once again. She is no longer trying to impress. She is looking to feel secure, not in a financial sense, but emotionally. She values consistency, presence, and authenticity above all else. Psychologists often refer to this as the authenticity shift. At this stage, superficial attraction loses much of its power, and depth becomes what truly matters. Now here's the truth every man needs to understand. If you meet a woman in any of these stages and fail to recognize what she genuinely needs at that moment, you'll take her behavior personally. You'll think she's complicated. You'll think she's inconsistent. But she's not. She's simply responding to a stage of life you were never taught to understand. And here's the harsh reality. A woman who feels deeply connected to you in one phase may naturally grow distant in another, not because you did something wrong, but because her needs have evolved. The men who avoid confusion and disappointment are the ones who understand this pattern. They don't rely only on timing. They build connections based on true alignment. Because the real question was never, what does she want? The real question has always been, what stage of life is she in right now? And if this perspective just shifted the way you see things, the next video goes even deeper, revealing the subtle signals women give during each of these stages, signals that most men completely miss. Understanding them could change everything for you.